Hello friends, I'm Akash, and this is your News of the Week for the week of May 16th to May 22nd, 2021. Let's take a look at our first story of the week, which is that a mutual, unconditional ceasefire has finally been reached between Israel and Palestine on May 21st, 2 a.m. local time. And this brings an end to the 11-day war between the two sides, leaving hundreds dead. Now, where did this situation start from? Well, there were already increasing conflicts and situations going on in the months leading up to the day of May 6th, when violent protests in Jerusalem resulted in clashes between Jewish and Palestinian protesters. And soon enough, the Israeli police stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is an Islam holy site. And later, both Israel and Palestine were firing rockets and airstrikes into each other's territory. This was a deadly war which left hundreds of people, hundreds of civilians dead. And it's the commoners here who are suffering as a result of this. And so it is great news to see that the two sides have finally come to a truce, a peace deal, as both sides are now actually claiming victory. So now the international leaders had worked tirelessly in order to get Israel and Palestine to agree to a deal here. So thank you to the United States President Joe Biden, who worked very hard with the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the French President Emmanuel Macron, and the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson in helping to negotiate the terms of the ceasefire deal between Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Hamas group of Palestine. And next, we have the South Korean president, who has become, just yesterday, the second foreign leader to visit President Biden ever since President Biden was inaugurated in January 2021. Now, the US and South Korea have been allies for a very long time, ever since the Korean War in the 40s and 50s. And so the South Korean President Moon Jae-in visited America and was very warmly received by President Biden. And they discussed about the topics pertaining to South Korea and the Indo-Pacific region. And in a statement released by the White House on May 21st, the day of their talks, the America and the South Korea will work together to focus on their relationship and strengthen it, and also to discuss of the issues which pertain to South Korea, the Indo-Pacific region, and the world at large. Next, President Biden also signed on May 20th the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, which aims to prevent acts of violence against Asian Americans. Now, this is being caused by the ongoing hate crimes against Asian Americans that's been going on for quite a while. And this is due to the fact that COVID-19 originated in China, and as such, the average American who'd lost their loved ones to COVID-19 would end up assuming that Asians are the reason for their loss. And some of them take it too far and start attacking them, and this is not okay. So President Biden passed this Hate Crimes Act, tweeting that hate has no place in America, and he signed this bill into law on May 20th after overwhelming approval from both chambers of Congress. Next, let's talk about our ongoing coverage of the Indian COVID-19 situation, which is actually leveling, which is pretty good. The daily COVID-19 cases have dropped to roughly 250,000, while the daily deaths have stayed constant at 4,000. Now, I mean, this is improvement, surely, but we still have a lot of more improvements to be made before this virus can finally be quelled. And so India has managed to gather as many of the medical infrastructure, like the hospital beds, the oxygen supply, and the vaccine ingredients. The Indian government has stockpiled as many of them as it can in order to help reduce this virus in India. However, despite all of this growing improvement, there is still one nagging issue which is starting to become a major problem, and that is black fungus. Yes, it is black fungus. Patients who have already been affected with COVID-19 are now having to deal with a new fungal infection of mucormycosis, better known as black fungus. And the reason why this happens is because COVID-19 weakens your immune system. So what ends up happening is that the black fungus finds, it's very opportunistic, so it finds the perfect moment to seize and take control of the empty areas now, as COVID-19 has weakened your immune system. So this is horrible now, what is going on, as black fungus is becoming a major issue with thousands of cases and hundreds of hospitalizations and many, many deaths. And so not only is the Indian government going to have to deal with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, they're also going to have to deal with the ongoing black fungus outbreak. And I really hope that the situation, both the COVID-19 pandemic and the black fungus outbreak going on right now, is hopefully going to come to a safe and final end. So that would be great. And next, President Biden was spotted yesterday. This is a very funny bit of news, driving an electric version of the president's car, the Cadillac Beast. So this is an electric version of perhaps the most secure car in the world. It's President Biden's car. So will this electric version become the president's new car? Well, we'll just have to see and find out. And finally, the last story that we have for you this week is the Eurovision Song Contest's grand final is taking place today at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. GMT. Now, the Eurovision Song Contest is an international singing competition, which primarily involves countries in Europe and also Australia. They decided to spice things up a little bit by introducing Australia into the competition in 2015. Now, this is being organized by the European Broadcasting Union, or EBU, and this is how Eurovision works. So each participating country sends in a singer who will perform an original song on live television to millions of viewers, and then the competing countries will vote for their favorite songs. And that is how the votes will take place, and that is how the winner will be determined. So this contest is incredibly popular, and the winning country is actually going to get the honor of hosting the competition in the next year. And the winner will sometimes go on to be international stars, like the famed band ABBA, which won in 1974, and Celine Dion, who actually won in 1988, competing for Switzerland. And so it is incredible, the Eurovision Song Contest. And so, in 2019, which was actually held in Tel Aviv in Israel, the Eurovision Song Contest was won by the Netherlands. And so the Netherlands would be due to host the Eurovision Song Contest in 2020. The thing is, due to the coronavirus, the 2020 Eurovision Song Contest was canceled, so it was going to be held into this year, 2021, and so it's being held in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. And so the grand final is taking place today, 3 p.m. Eastern Time and 7 p.m. GMT. And that is all of your news of the week for the week of May 16th to May 22nd, 2021. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with some more news of the week. Goodbye.